My name is Helen Williams. I've been a librarian to the Library of Mistakes since we opened in March 2014. And we now have over 5,000 volumes on the shelves. And I'm going to give you a short introduction to the collection and how we have it organised. We use our own system, which is much better for a collection like this, which is on a fairly small scale and focused differently, because one of the things we're trying to do is to get people to think differently about the mistakes that keep recurring. So the core of our collection is in sections called financial institutions, banking, and financial markets. So financial institutions, there's books on banks, some you may never have heard of, and some of the really big ones that you will know about, the Bank of Scotland, the Royal Bank of Scotland, but also the City of Glasgow Bank and the Ayrshire Bank. We have a particularly good collection of Scottish banks, of course. The books on banking are books on banking in general, so really overlap, but it means that it makes it a little bit easier to find. And we cover not only the UK, but also banking throughout the world. Financial markets is covering how the City of London, Wall Street and other financial markets work, and also histories of those markets, how they came to be the way they are. The other important section in looking at financial and business mistakes is called business cycles, and it's about the whole cycle of boom and bust that's been going on for hundreds of years since the financial markets really started. So we have books going right the way back to the Darien scheme and the South Sea bubble of the 18th century, and coming right up to the great financial crisis of 2008, covering all sorts of other crises and including, of course, the big crash of 1929. As well as the financial mistakes, we also look at business mistakes. So we've got a section called corporate history, which is business histories of non-financial companies. And it covers a range, including technology companies such as Microsoft and Samsung, Guinness, and large companies which have disappeared from the landscape, such as Courtaulds and ICI. Supporting that is a section called business history, which is about those business sectors. So there you'll find books on the iron and steel industry, on the railway industry. There's always plenty of books on railways, and pharmaceuticals, agriculture, the more general areas of business. Backing all this up, or underlying it, is a history section and a biography section. We collect histories that relate to the economic and social context of the business world, and biographies, bit mixed, but mostly politicians, businessmen, financiers, but there's a few other things as well. We also have a section on economic theory and analysis, which covers the literature both around the development of the of economic theories that are current now, and critiques of them as well. As well as that, and it's sort of grouped together really, we have a whole section of books on investment, advice on what to do, lots of advice on what to do, in fact, and about investment strategies that have worked and the strategies of great investors, and all the kind of literature you'd expect under that heading. Two sections around the regulation and management of the financial world are corporate governance together with management. We have a single section with both of those, and that's about the rules, regulations and the practices, particularly the practices to help companies avoid mistakes. Likewise with accounting and auditing, which is obviously a big part of the same subject area. The other big and important section is on risk and decision making, and this is related to the theories of Richard Thaler and Daniel Kahneman around behavioural finance. So books on risk management, books on the psychology of decision making are there, but we've also added into it a few non-financial mistakes. They range, we don't go further back than the Tay Bridge disaster in the 1870s, and we come right up to date with Grenfell and currently the COVID pandemic and the decision making around that, and cover larger scale international issues such as nuclear disasters, including Chernobyl, and environmental disasters such as the Exxon Valdez and the BP blowout in the Gulf of Mexico. We have a section called Reports, which is a bit vague, but it's because it covers a wide range of material, a lot of which has not been conventionally published. It includes a mixture of annual reports, share offer documents, and reports from within the finance and investment industry. It's a bit of an odd mixture, but in some ways is one of our most important sections because it isn't necessarily available in other libraries. And we have two other sections that I would like to mention. One is fraud, which is again a mixture of frauds. And we've also got a section of fiction and games. Fiction includes titles which represent Railway Mania, which was a boom and bust. And the games include the really nasty bankers game, as well as one on the history and downfall of the Maxwell Empire. We are always open to suggestions of other material we could include and open to ways we can add to our collection of mistakes.